Ladies and gentlemen, the Anglican Church took a drastic move yesterday and stopped its churches to be used going forward by the politicians. They will just be recognized according to the Anglican Archbishop Oresa Pitt. You remember, Oresa Pitt is the man who led that convoy of William Samoei when he was being sworn in, all the way from Karen, prayed for the nation, prayed for the then deputy president-elect. And we cannot rule out that the Anglican Church has always been involved in politics. Remember the firebrand Getari, the one who actually show the government when it was making mistakes. Before I give a critical analysis why the Anglican Church took that drastic move, I want you to watch what the Archbishop was saying here, because you remember Rigathi Gachagua was there, Eugene Wamalwa was there, and Kalonzo Musyoka was there. And what happened is that they were not given any chance to address the congregation. Watch.
We have already declared, and we want to declare today, that giving in the Anglican Church will not be announced. Just give as God directs you to give. For what we give to God, we don't have to tell human beings what we have given him. We ask now the teams that have been given opportunity to come forward. The rest will be giving in the tents and in the boxes that are designated. When the time comes for acknowledging all those who have come, we will do that. But also I want to give direction that from today on henceforth, in any Anglican congregation, and I thank God my bishops are here, there will be no opportunity for any political leader to have a speech in the church. We will mention their names, they will wave their hands, and if they so wish to speak to the congregants, it will be done outside of the sanctuary. And not only today, but in all our dioceses and in all our churches. May God bless you.
What is your take on this? Do you support the Anglican Church? You know, the Anglican Church, the Church of England, is a church where mannerism and where people are supposed to be cultured. But I want us to look at the reason why the church took this drastic move. Number one, in my view, the church is losing its relevance. If you look at the modern church, utaona kwamba it is not the word of God. It is not the gospel that is preached there. It is something else. When you look at the politicians, what the politicians have been doing, they have been attending those churches, and the vulgar language that they have been using could have actually scared even the devil himself. It is in the church that they would go to the pulpit, and then in the pulpit they would actually say anything concerning their opponents. They could say anything concerning the government. They could say anything concerning the people they perceive to be their opponent, or they perceive to be on the wrong side. Number two, in my view, when you look at the churches, you know, the church has been turned into an area where people or politicians comes and display their wealth. Remember, it's not once that we have seen politicians carrying millions and millions of money, including the president himself, and donating the money. So the fact that they are coming to show off, unajua sasa what they are doing here ni kutapikia wananchi wengine, and wanatutapikia kwa viatu vyetu, na wakati wanatutapikia matumbo yetu hamna chochote. So that display of arrogance, that display of opulence is something that could have disgusted the church leadership. Number three, in my view, there's a feeling that the source of this money could be the proceeds of corruption. There's that feeling among the general population. And because the source of that money is maybe pesa ambazo wakati mwingine labda they are supposed to maybe buy drugs, and the politicians are just coming here and donating the money. The perception among the population is that this is wrong. In fact, it looks very evil when Somebody carry millions and millions of cash money, and the money is given to the bishop or to the pastors, and the pastors are very, very happy. And when you look at it, when you look at these churches, when the money is given, they praise the giver instead of praising the Lord. Number three, in my view, is because of the criticism that is coming from the general population, especially the youth. If you remember what has been happening, you see, the youth have been visiting these churches, and you know what they are saying about injections. And remember what happened to the Winners Chapel, and the church had to be protected by the police. They had to be guarded by the police. Otherwise, the people were very, very angry. So the church could be fearing that if these politicians are continue to behave the way they are behaving, they continue to be given the forum in churches, then the church might lose its following. And if you look at the modern church today, ask any pastor, he will tell you that even though Kenyan population is increasing, the number of church attendance is decreasing every day. It's diminishing every day. Let me ask you, when do you go to church? When did you last go to church? Did you attend the church yesterday? Because if you go to church, the business, usually the business, I'm talking about the Kenyan churches, mostly they emphasize on money. There are others that emphasize on fake miracles, and this one could have made also, when people start praising, their giving is something that is coming out of blessings. And the Holy books are very clear that when you give, don't even let the other hand know what you have given. But these guys comes out and show. So it is against the good books. The fact that the politicians, what politicians want is just to see people clapping, just to see the crowds, just to see the multitude. So they are misusing the church, and that is the feeling in the Anglican church. The other reason is because when you look at William Samoei Ruto entered the mountain through the church. This time round, I think the church want to take a different stand. There's a feeling also that the church is feeling guilty. And I've had pastors apologizing, by the way, for leading their followers to UDA. Now this time, I think the pastors the clergy feel that the government or no politicians should actually lead the people or come to the church and win the following or win the support of the church. Remember that time that Rigathi Gachagua would always tell us that the Church of Christ had a candidate, and that candidate was William Samoei Ruto. Today the church is in the front line. I may ask the church, is William Samoei Ruto still the church candidate? Because what was there is that people were indoctrinated, and what entered into the minds of the people is that Raila was the devil's candidate, and William Samoei Ruto was the Christ candidate. That was absolutely wrong, and I remember I gave a video about it, and I criticized this move. So today the church is feeling guilty. Yeah, it is feeling the guilt feelings. It is there. Wanaona tulikosea, so they want to correct that mistake, because if they continue, I think they'll be misused, and they will continue regretting and continue feeling guilty. So, ladies and gentlemen, there could be other reasons. I don't know what you think. Maybe you can add those reasons in the comment section. And by the way, it is still raining where I am. And have a blessed day. Take care. Bye-bye.